All right. Whew. Shaking off the rust. Hey, everybody. I am back animating tonight, and I'm just hoping that it works, that it's on the right channel, that you can actually see things happening. Um, Let me see. Can I see it on here? It looks like it's working. I'm going to test and see if my sound is right. It works. That it's on the right channel. Yes. All right. It looks good. So I have tried. Um, Actually, let me try to repost the live link there. Now that I have an actual video working. Let's do this. So grab this, share, copy link. Okay. And now I can come to my story and then more story settings. Done. Let me add another one. Hold on. So we'll do this. Take a picture, and then live now. And let's see. Move that up. Hey, if you're watching, how's it going? Feel free to chat. Um, I am trying to fix the posted link that I have on my social medias. Put a more direct one because the one I posted before was just to my channel. But if people don't know to click live, then they might not see that I'm actually live right now. So, do. Let's do celebrate. I'll do that one. And we'll do join. Join now. And I'll put fixed link. And done. There we go. And sharing options, share, share. And done. Okay. And now I'll go to my other Instagram, my personal, and click this. And then share to Instagram. Share. Oh, it won't let me do that. Okay. I'll try again. Do. Do this. And let me see. How do I share stories? Oh, add to story. There we go. And share. Done. Cool. And then post it in my friend group. And we'll do this. Live now on my YouTube channel. Check my story. And I'll do this. That way I can keep an eye on the chat from my phone just in case. All right. So today's study is going to be from one of my favorite films, Lilo and Stitch. And I'll go ahead and pull that up. So I had it before and I had to close it down because I was reinstalling OBS. Stitch Ducks. I had it all set up. I think it's this one. Or maybe it was that one. I gotta find it again. I'll find it. Not that one. No, that's not it. Maybe it's this one. Okay. I found it. Cool. All right, so how I do animation studies is I find either a DVD or a YouTube video of some animation I like that professional animators have already done. So I'm not like reinventing or claiming any of this as my own. This is purely a study of how animators have put together their frames by frames. I focus first on the key poses and then I do some in-betweens from there. But this is a great way if you're learning how to animate to take reference from things that already exist, people who have already spent time in polishing characters with an understanding of weight, timing, spacing, physicality, appeal, all those things, and put them up on the big screen. Because you're not going to outdo what a professional animator has already done because they've spent so much time with these characters, watching them develop and become who they were by the time they reach the big screen. So this is really more for just like, it's like a puzzle. It's like figuring it out backwards, right? And so that's why I like to do this stuff. And so that's what I'll be doing today. Let me see. I'm going to go ahead and let's see. Something's wrong on my live stream. Please tell me it didn't go down. Oh boy. All right, I'm just gonna double check and make sure that my mic is still working on my phone. Okay, it is. Cool. Oh boy. Nice. All right, so feel free to chat with me while I go ahead and do this stuff, and I will keep that up on the screen the best that I can. I'm going to slide this over this way, and we'll make this not full screen. There we go. Okay. So this is going to be interesting. And let me grab, oh, I forgot, I got to fix the Huion. Huion. There we go. Open that app. Digital pen, digital display, working area, and it's going to be there. Okay. Close. And now I can move my stylus. Yay. Okay. And now we got to find the right brush. So let's do... Is this a pencil? It's a little too smooth for my liking. What about the pastel? That looks a little too thick. Let me shrink it down. How's this? Oh, I don't like that. We'll try oil paint. Shrink that down. Not quite right. If I can find another oil paint, that might work better. Oil brush. Is that the one? Nope, that's definitely not the right one. I'll try pastel edge. It's a little messy there. That's too big. Shrink that down. Don't like that. Drawing B. Rough drawing, maybe? I might go back to that pencil. Or if I shrink that one down, that might work. Make it nice and tiny. Too thin. Smooth pastel? Nope. I'll figure it out. Pencil. Mechanical pencil. What does that look like when I shrink it? That's not bad. Might shrink it a little. Kind of like that. All right. Top messages. Oh, there's nobody there. Okay. If you're watching, thanks for being here. So first off, I need to open up the animation timeline. There we go. And then we're going to bring this up. Like that. And then we're going to go ahead and add a timeline. Call OK. And then oh, I added the wrong thing. New animation folder. That's what I wanted. Folder. And then new cell. There we go. Okay. So in this folder, right over here, I'm going to turn the visibility of that one off. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to, there we go. I'm going to go ahead and draw the rough background here. So I'm not going to get terribly fancy with it, but going to try and get the overall position. It's kind of like it goes over here, right about there, and go like this. And then we got one over here. It's a little more angled than that. Just giving a rough background here, kind of like a wooden plank setup. That's how it is in the film. And then we'll do and then we got some plants over here. And we'll do a little bit of the background nail kind of stuff. And then put a little one right there. And we'll have some lines going this way for like the cracking of the planks. It's really just to get kind of like a feel of a setting. Hello, welcome. Feel free to chat while you're here. And then let's go up to, we'll go to this frame, and what I want to do is I want to stretch it. There we go. And we'll do the same thing for the paper. There we go. Bring it over there. And we'll do the same thing for this one. Stretch that there. Now, I don't know if we'll be using all of these frames or if we'll be using some of them, but I'm just putting it out there. Okay, so now I'm going to come to this layer. Actually, I'll go to this other one here, and I'm going to lock it if it will let me, which it should. Let's do a lock. Perfect. Oh, I'm going to lock the paper one too. Lock that. Cool. All right. And so, roughly, why can't I pick this one? It won't let me draw on it. Oh, there we go. Now I can. So just make sure it's selected. And now it's just about establishing the key poses. So figuring where he sits in here. Let's go ahead and draw a stitch. I was going to get maybe get the head here. A little higher maybe. Well, he's kind of small. Well, I'll do it right here. And his head is kind of angled. It's going to be rough. The purpose isn't to be perfect. The purpose is to just kind of get a feel. I'll go ahead and move that back there. And his ear comes out over this way. And then he's got his face is over this way. And then we've got, go ahead and draw like a arc line where that nose comes through, so that we have an idea. And then we'll take a look at his shoulder. His shoulder kind of comes down here on an angle, and it connects down into the back. Like so. I'll go ahead and lower that side of the face. I'll go ahead and put the arm. His arm kind of angles out and back, more like that. Comes down a little hard on the edge. And you got these little nubby fingers. Let's get the body. So it kind of comes forward. And then down this way, like this. So he's kind of like leaning and hesitant. And his back's even a little bit more arched maybe. And this ear comes off the corner there and links down curved into the back. And then let's take a look at his other shoulder here. Cuts over. And he's got the curve of his arm. Got these fingers. And he's got these like stretched bean nails. They're not really sharp so much as just long. And then one leg there. And his arm has a little bit of a turn before coming forward like this. Let's go ahead and move that arm out a little bit more. Let's give him a little bit more weight. And have it arched down like that. And then I can have his head maybe come over this way a little bit more. Angle back more. And then have his ear turn over this way. And then here's a finger here. these guys over here. And then this one here. And then this one here. Comes down a little bit more than that. Fingers still pointing forward. Got that going. And then this thumb and this finger kind of link over like this. Something like that. And then he's got some of his fur lining like that. And so his chest kind of curves in and back up this way. And then he's got some of that blue fur over on this side. And his belly comes down over here. And we'll extend that hip. And I'll do some erasing in just a little bit. Right now I'm just trying to get the idea out. So. And like I said, the point of the study isn't to be like super hyper accurate. It's really just to kind of figure out posing and timing and all that kind of stuff. So I'll do my best to get a reasonable likeness without going overkill. Because if I try to go too precise, then we won't get anything done. That's kind of the trick here with a study. Let's angle this a bit more this way. And then his nose is fairly large. It actually comes near the top of the pupil in terms of the height. And it comes down to about there. And it curves back up here. Got kind of a wide nose. And then we'll do this guy here. So this pupil comes down here, arches up over here. And then this side, got the light blue that goes this way and up over here. Like that. And then his mouth has just the slightest little extra curve to it. And then it comes down over here. He's got a little bit of a eyebrow ridge there. Just the slightest little nod to it, along with some nose wrinkles. And then a little bit of a underlip here. Okay, so we can come in and we can clean some of this up. And maybe some of that lower lid there, or nostril, I mean. Gotta fix that nose. Alright, go back to the pencil. Oh no, I lost it. Oh, there it is. It was just the mechanical pencil. That's fine. I think that's good. Okay. And so now what I do is I go back to the video, and if you want to do animation studies yourself, something you can do with any sort of YouTube video at all, it doesn't even have to be animation. If you just want to kind of scrub through videos, if you pause the video and you use the left and right arrow bracket keys next to the letter M, or between M and question mark on your keyboard, it actually lets you go frame by frame, which is really, really helpful. So let's see. All right, so that's frame 1. So we go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, okay, 35. Frame 35. So let's go ahead and slide. Let's slide this over to there. And we'll go to frame 35. And we'll add a new keyframe. And then I gotta enable my well, actually, we'll move this back. And I gotta enable my onion skin. So window, or is it here? Enable onion skin. There we go. So onion skin in animation programs allows you to see the previous and future line layers that you have. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take his anchor foot, which doesn't really move. I'm going to leave it here. He's just going to put a little more weight and pressure on it. So I'll anchor this down. And so this foot, that's our anchor. Everything else is moving. So this hand is going to move over here. And let's go ahead and do that. So we'll draw like a oval here to kind of figure out like the posing of this. Right about there. And I'll go ahead and let's see. The back comes up. This elbow goes to the side. Like that. And then this arm goes forward. Trying to remember how Chris Sanders has his shapes distributed. It's a little thicker at the front. And then over this way. And then we got this arm coming out this way. And swinging down here. Like that. And his face doesn't move a ton. It's in a very similar position. He just kind of lowers and tucks it a little more. Trying to keep the volume of the head roughly the same. And then his back angles a bit more like this. And then his side goes up a little more. Because we get that weight shifting. His leg has just come up. And now it's beginning to bear weight on top. Might be a little too far forward. Let's try doing this and having it be a little higher. And then, so he's got his toe coming over here, and then a little nub there. And then we got this hand. Okay, so he's got this weight shifting there, and his body's kind of hanging forward a bit. He's got his chest that's starting to come forward like that. And then this side, that. Something like that. And then he's got his little chest fuzz. So we got that ear. This other ear has slid out a little bit more now. And it curves down and over the side. Trying to avoid a tangent. And then everything is kind of shifted over. So the eye is going to be more like here. And this eye is going to be more like over here. And then we got this circle. Something kind of like that. Gotta get that tooth. This swings under this way. And then you got this one. Color in those pupils. We'll get rid of the nose shade. We don't need that. We'll go ahead and erase some of the sketchier lines. Okay. And so now we've got if we go back, we got this. So key pose, key pose. And basically the key pose is all about like the main differences in action or weight shifting. And so here he's getting ready to take a step, and here he's already begun to take a step. So here's where he first puts his weight down on both his back leg and his front leg as he's coming forward, and he's using his other front leg as, you know, the fulcrum, the main point of pressure to lift the other limbs forward. So this to this. So now we go back and look at the animation again, and we click forward here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So this is really more of a weight shift. So he squints his eyes and shifts his body forward to the opposite side a little more so that he can use the leg that he's just put up on the step to push himself up so he can stand. So we'll go ahead and we'll add a frame here. And we'll keep all these things the same pretty much. We lose a little bit of the area beneath his chin. I suppose we can push forward just a tiny bit more so we can see the result of all that weight shift. Because these toes here are going to remain pretty much the same in position. So we'll slide this up this way, and then we'll shift this over here. And his head is pushing more this way for sure. It's going to come down a little bit and slide to the side. And he's going to kind of straighten his head a little bit actually. His upper or his under chin is going to come up a little more. Something along these lines. Okay, and then we got the ear. The ear's going up a little bit. Up, and it's going to curve. And we can't see the other ear anymore. And then we're going to get a tiny bit of overlap over here. Like that. Okay. And so now we can go boop, boop. See, it's like it's not a huge shift, it's just a little bit of one. But it's enough to put. So boom, boom, boom. Back to the video. Actually, I'm gonna adjust something. Hold on. While I'm thinking of it. Okay. Now we go here, here, here to here, here to here. I gotta give him a little bit more of a ruffled look. There. Alright. Back to the study on the video. What's the next key pose? So he lifts up. Maybe there, because the hands are finally up. Up and dragging. So we'll do this, add a frame. And so now his head has shifted and gone up. His foot is less squished. I mean, it's still bearing a lot of the weight, so I don't want to undo too much. He's got a little bit more of this foot showing here. So he's got the weight pushing on this foot. And it's going to come up. His head is going to be up over here. Get that shoulder in there. I think at this point I'm going to keep it kind of messy, so it doesn't have to be perfect. I just need to get the poses down. Okay, so push, push, push. See that force? And it's important that that other foot stays fairly locked. I gotta fix that toe. Let's go ahead and correct that. Okay, let's look at it now. Push, push, push. That looks better. And I'll go ahead and slide this back here. And I'll take this one and slide it back here. And I'll take this one and slide it back here. So we got, he starts here, and then he moves forward, and then he starts to lean. So I think this one's a little off. Let's do a little bit of cleanup on the poses here. Go back to this. It's a little better. Doop, 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 dum, bum, bum, bum. Just trying to keep the shape of the head pretty much the same. It's going to get slightly larger because he's coming a little closer to camera. But that's what we got so far. Alright, and so we'll add another keyframe here. Go back to the video, take a look. What's the next key pose? Feel like it might be right here where he gets the other foot up Okay, so his head and his whole torso starts swinging. So we've got this foot pretty much in the same place, perhaps a little less pressure than before. More like this. Toes are going to be in the same spot. Like that. Got that. And this hand shifts up to over here. Like that. And then he's got his torso over this way. He's got the other foot coming up. Right around here, I think. Right around there. And he's got this knee kind of coming forward a little. Like that. And from this hand, we get a bit of a, because he's still going up a little more. He's like higher. And then we'll get this kind of curve here. Like that. And his head is going to tilt a little more. And his nose goes up a little more. All right, let's see. Um, he's shoving himself over a little more and getting that foot up. Feel like he needs to be a little taller. Yeah, messed that up. Might be able to select some of the face there and shift it up. Let's do this. Lasso. And then we'll move it. It's just got to be different enough where you feel it, you know? Probably like that, yeah. Click OK, stop selection, and then go back to the pencil, and we'll make this go up a little more. And then we'll do finger there. Something more like that. Let's see how that looks. Boop, boop, boop. Let's click this frame. Give it a little more weight there. Erase some of the excess. We'll just connect it a little better. Like that. Boop. Feels a little better. So he starts here. Like that. Do. So we got that shifting of the weight. let's add a frame here, and we'll get the next big key pose, which is stepping uh, that farther back leg forward now, swinging it out and toward the camera a little bit, and shifting his torso even more in the direction it's currently going. So it's not going to be terribly different than what we see in the other pose, but it will be different. Mm, just a little bit of an adjustment. go ahead and move this down. Right about there. Okay, let's check. All right, he's coming up, pushing, stepping forward. All right, back to the video. Got 6 poses. Been streaming for a little while. I think this might be a good stopping point. Thanks for being here. You know what I'll do is I'll stretch these out just a little bit and allow it to play through. So if I got 6, if I space them out like 5s or something, put this one around like 30, this one around 25, this one around 20, 15, oh, I miscounted. I'll move this one to 6, plus 5 is 11, plus 5 is 16, plus 5 is 21. There we go. All right, and let's move this to here. And now we'll play. Do-do, do-do. Look at that. Cool. Whew, a lot of time for a little movement. But it's there. So Woohoo, we did it. All right. Thanks for hanging and watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll probably continue this next time and see where we can get it. But um, yeah. That's just key poses. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and save this. So file, save as, and we'll call it Stitch Study. Stitch. Call it Stitch Anim Study. Stitch Anim Study. Clip Studio, save. Save it to the desktop. And let's go ahead and export animation. Let's do an animated GIF. Desktop, save to frame 29. Frame rate 8 frames per second. No, that's let's see. I'll try it. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Oh, well, they're not letting me play. Oh, maybe I could do it in photos. Yeah. There you go. Cool. Nice. Thanks for being here. That was fun. And next time I stream, if I do animation, it'll probably be continuing this one because he's got another motion that he does where he goes and he sits. He like stands up, hesitates, and then turns himself to sit down, and he's still looking in that same direction. It's when Lilo and Nani are on the hammock and she's singing Aloha Oi. Um, because they're about to be separated. So I just found his emotion in that sitting pose or climbing up and sitting down to be really interesting. So that's why I wanted to animate it today. Anyway, thanks for being here. I'll catch you in the next one. Bye, everybody.